Ozzy Osbourne bit the head off a bat. Hulk Hogan body slammed a man twice his size on live TV. And you're telling me these were the guys who raised us? Yeah. And thank God they did. Because back then, icons weren't crafted in boardrooms. They were forged in chaos, mistakes, and moments you could never unsee. This isn't your usual Forbes burn. This is a special burn. For the men who were too loud to be forgotten. And before we go further, respect where it's due. Whatever scandals, whatever madness, Ozzy and Hulk gave us culture, not content, and we owe them a damn spotlight. You still with me? Because I know you like your legacy with a side of fire. So tell me, when's the last time a public figure felt real to you? Not optimized, not filtered, just real? Drop it in the comments. I'm watching. Let's start with Ozzy. The man once snorted a line of ants because cocaine got boring. He mumbled through interviews like a haunted toaster, and yet sold out stadiums for decades. The bat thing? That wasn't staged. It was dinner. This guy made total mental breakdown look like performance art. And you know what? He never blamed the algorithm for anything. He was the algorithm. Raw, unstable, and completely unrepeatable. Then there's Hulk Hogan. The tan, the mustache, the endless flexing. He was the physical embodiment of 80s ego. He made wrestling a religion. But also, leaked tapes, racism scandals, lawsuits. The fall was loud. But the rise? Mythic. They weren't role models. They were impact events. They didn't ask permission. They tore pop culture a new one. And here's the weirdest part. We didn't love them in spite of the madness. We loved them because of it. Because back then, imperfection wasn't a liability. It was character. Now, a 22-year-old TikToker gets canceled for saying yo wrong. The legends we grew up with? They did things that would melt TikTok today. Back when all we had was VHS tapes and late-night rumors. No Instagram apologies. No PR teams on speed dial. Just raw footage, whispered legends, and a million confused parents. And we still bought the t-shirts. So tell me, have we lost our appetite for chaos? Or are we just scared of what real looks like? Drop your answer below. I'll be in the comments, dodging folding chairs. Let's not pretend these men were saints. Ozzy bit the head off a bat and somehow still got invited to family barbecues. Hogan said some things off camera that would have ended a dozen careers. If social media had existed back then, these weren't PR-polished role models. They were chaos in human form. But here's the thing. That chaos had consequences. And character Ozzy showed us what it meant to embrace your weirdness. Loudly, unapologetically. He taught a generation of outsiders that the freak on the fringe could headline the main stage. And somehow still make it home for family dinner. And on MTV, no less. Hogan? The man turned muscle and mustache into mythology. He made us believe in larger-than-life heroes, then reminded us that even gods have shadows. Because when your childhood idol ends up in a courtroom, you grow up fast. And that's a gift in its own weird way. Their scandals weren't curated. They were raw, messy, human, which begs the question. Is it better to follow someone flawless, or someone who falls, gets back up, and owns every inch of the mess? Drop your take in the comments, because this isn't just nostalgia. It's a masterclass in being real. These weren't just celebrities. They were culture anchors, people we measured time against. The eras weren't defined by tech. They were defined by them. And now that they're gone, or fading, we're left with a question their lives asked louder than any tweet ever could. What do we do when the legends leave the stage? The lights dim. The music fades. But the echo? The echo stays. Legends like Ozzy and Hogan don't just exit. They close eras. They mark the end of a time when icons weren't optimized. They were unpredictable. You didn't follow them for perfection. You followed them because they made you feel alive. Louder, messier, realer than anything on your timeline. And now, they're gone. But before we drown in nostalgia, let's ask the question that matters. What are we doing with the fire they lit? Because if we just scroll past it, chasing the next viral dopamine hit, we're not mourning legends. We're wasting the lesson. They taught us that weird is powerful, that flaws are part of the story, that living loud, whether you're shredding guitars or dropping elbows, can mean something if you're true to it. So yes, this episode breaks format. Yes, the Forbes roast is coming back. Bernard Arnault, your fashion empire's about to catch some heat. But this moment? This one belongs to the icons who showed us how to be larger than life, and still human enough to fall. Because at the end of the day, we don't just need new influencers. We need new legends. People unafraid to be wild, raw, and meaningful. And maybe, just maybe, that starts with us. So here's to Ozzy, to Hogan, to the chaos, the glory, the mistakes, the myth. They might have left the stage, but we're still here, still breathing, still writing the next act. So Lev, loud, weird, true, and above all, live well, because no matter how legendary someone is, the world keeps turning, and the best tribute we can offer is to make our own story worth remembering.